Jack was sound asleep in his bed until his phone started buzzing. Brrrr, 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 he groaned. What do you want? It's midnight. Let me sleep, he grumbled as he checked his phone. It was Mike inviting him to a murder party and offering a cash prize of $10,000 for guessing the killer precisely. Jack agreed to join and arrived at the party 20 minutes late. Hey Mike, I'm here for the party, I exclaimed as I walked into the door. Oh, here you are. Come in, come in. We've got a lot to catch up on, Mike replied warmly. Like what? I'm only here for the money, I joked. Fine, detective, Mike sighed. There were so many people. I stayed there for at least an hour before it started. As I walked outside to get some fresh air from all the people inside, I started to question why I had even come to this party. Why was Mike hosting a murder mystery party? And what did he mean about guessing the killer precisely? Feeling curious, I decided to go back inside and ask Mike about my questions. Mike, 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 where are you? Oh bro, what's up? Sorry I didn't hear you. I was hanging with the ladies and chilling with the boys. Mike, what did you mean guess the killer precisely? And why are you hosting a murder party? As I asked my questions, Mike grew an unusual grin. Then the light cut. While the screaming was going, I heard a soft, help, help, as the voice faded. Soon the light flashed on. Susan's body laid on her side on the floor in the living room dead. 10 stabs on her face, 19 on her stomach, 28 on her back, and 37 on her legs. I took a picture for evidence. Everyone watched the blood on the body spurt out into the blood puddle. Daryl ran to the body, kissing her. My precious baby girl, don't fear, it's going to be okay. I watched the whole scene happen and took notes. Day 1. 94 stabs in total. Susan died in the living room on her right side. Susan is Daryl's girlfriend. Susan has blonde hair, freckles everywhere, blue jeans, and a blue top. I need everyone's attention. There's a killer in this house, shouted Mike. The good news is that there are 16 of us, so we have a lot of friends. There's an upstairs and a basement with plenty of space to run if we need to. As Mike was speaking, I walked around the house, trying to map it out and get some understanding about the house. I soon realized that 4 people stood out from the crowd: Henry, Mary, Jacob, and Briella. Henry was a cop who had caught most of his criminals, but he was on his last strike. If he messed up, he would be fired and could even be killed. Mary was a medic and had a very successful hospital, but she only had 5 medkits with her. Jacob was a firefighter with a great career. He brought an axe, 2 gas masks, and 1 knife with him. Last but not least, there was Briella. She was a peacekeeper. In most conflicts she had been in, she had brought calm and understanding. I wanted them to form a group. Henry, Mary, Jacob, Briella. I called out to them. As I approached, I noticed that Mary and Jacob were holding hands. We talked about our lives and exchanged phone numbers. As we chatted, I caught a glimpse of Mike getting rejected by someone. I caught up with Mike. Mike had the largest smile on his face. Mike, you okay? I saw what happened. I questioned. It's fine, I thought. The lights flickered again. It went black. Bang. I heard banging in the bathroom rapidly. Swoosh. The toilet flushed. The lights flickered. Brittany was lying in the bathroom on her back. Her head was busted open with a huge hole in it. There was blood in and on the sink. I ran up with my camera to a picture. Snap. I took notes. Day 2. Brittany was found on her back in the downstairs bathroom. Her head was smashed repeatedly and rapidly on the sink. Her brain is shown out of her forehead. We're all black. Black eyeshadow, black lipstick, and black hair. Mike, why can't I leave? Daniel, I didn't expect a killer here. These doors and windows are going to be locked for the last 13 days. Mike replied to Daniel. I was ready for the big speech I planned for and walked to the second floor rails. Everyone, it's the 3rd day of this bloodbath. We should probably discuss who has the most rage on us to kill us and kill them. I alerted, but I don't think they heard me. They all stated their SUS. Mike said Daryl and everyone agreed. They prepared to burn him. I had to stop them. Guys, it can't be Daryl. If Daryl was the killer, why would he kill his girlfriend? I check a note Daryl gave to Susan. It said, hey, I want to start a new love in our relationship. That just means he treasured her, I said. They didn't care and burned him. I could see the agony in his eyes as he perished. The light flickered out. Then a dark, scratchy voice disturbs the silence. "Drink up, Daniel." I heard someone swallow something and drop the glass. Crack. The lights flickered on. I watched Daniel walk to the garage to smoke. "Daniel, wait up," I called. Daniel pulled out his cigarette. I tried to stop him, but I couldn't. The good guys walked up to see what happened. I stood on the concrete floor. The good guy stood at the doorway. Daniel stood leaning on the wall and lit it. Instead of lighting his smoke, he ignited himself. They left the scene and discussed what happened. We narrowed it down to this. The killer walked up to Daniel and gave him a cup of gasoline knowing he smoked. Everyone SUS out, one person Carl. Carl was the one person who carried gas for his car. #Day 3. Daniel was offered gas and took it unknowingly. He later smoked and died. Daniel was always dressed up in a pilot uniform but never lived his dreams. The one thing we truly knew was that the killer must hate everyone here. We voted for Carl to fall into the blazing hole of demise. He burned. Again the light flickered, but we were prepared. We used an old flashlight that still had charge. Henry held the flashlight. It went dark. Henry turned on the flashlight in front. The light didn't last long. Thud. The flashlight fell and broke. The light flickered on. Henry's dead body was sliced in half. His oozing bloody body was sliced in half with his organs. Mike walked around crying that people died in his mansion. His sea blue sparkling eyes were bulging out. "I hate this," he cried. "Who are we going to burn next? This whole event, I thought as the detective here I was safe here. I thought wrong. Burn the detective. Burn Jack," they all shouted. As they all prepared to burn me, I saw a smile on Mike's face. His smile grew bigger and bigger. His despicable, filthy, yellow smile grew and grew. His skin shifted beet red from his smile of satisfaction. Right when I was about to get dropped, a dark masked figure jumped out of the blue to catch me. They unmasked themselves, and they were Daniel, Brittany, Sazin, and Henry. Mike was horrified. "How are y'all alive? We saw all of y'all dead bodies. You may have killed, but we came back now, face punishment." Mike turned out to be the killer. The murder party, the victims, and why all the exits are locked. So he had better chances to kill us. Everyone was thrilled that the killer was now dead. For the last hours, no murders happened, and the light had stopped flickering. But I wasn't happy. I was baffled. How did they see who killed them in the dark, and how are they alive? Now that Mike's body was burned, who was going to unlock this house? He's the only person who had a face ID. On a bright sunny Monday morning, we all ate breakfast and got ready for our trips home. Susan tried to unlock the door, but it didn't work. Right before I knew, I woke up. On a Saturday evening, that was one kind of dream. But I knew we were still in the house. Mike and the dead bodies still laid there. I woke up to see a secret door open. I walked in to see who the killer was. It was me. I realized I was dead this whole time since the murders happened. I was the first target. I killed myself. My dead body was still active due to my great health and meditation, and I only stabbed my stomach. I was killed in the basement, and my dead body got up without a spirit. I killed Susan, Daniel, Henry, and Brittany without knowing. Then I trapped everyone into a digital world where they couldn't leave. Then it hit me, that's why I saw Daniel, Susan, Brittany, and Henry, because they were killed by my hands. The screaming at first was me. I'm the killer.